Last year was a very robust one for Good Energy, despite the headwinds of the global energy crisis. Now you can see the high cost of commodities in our revenue figure. That grew by over 70%. We're actually much more interested in our underlying profitability, which has recovered, and the strength of our balance sheet. So our profitability, our headline figure, is actually just shy of £9 million. A lot of that is driven by realising an increase in the value of our investment in ZapMap. But even our core energy supply business swung from being loss-making in 2021 as the energy crisis bit back into the black in 2022, which is a very gratifying result and the product of a lot of hard work by the team. The other area I draw people's attention to is the strength of our balance sheet. By selling our generating assets early in the year, we have been able to move from a position of considerable amounts of debt to a largely debt-free balance sheet. And at the end of the year, we had just shy of £25 million in cash available to us to both invest in working capital that we need to ride out the energy crisis, but also to invest in new products and services. I would point to four things really as highlights for last year. The first was the sale of our generation assets. They only contributed about 15% of the energy we actually to supply to customers, yet they had a lot of debt tied up with them, and by selling them we got rid of the debt, realised a considerable cash gain, and that has underpinned our ability to invest for the future. One of the things we invested in was the acquisition of Igloo Works, which is a heat pump installation business, which we have now rebranded as Good Energy, and that gives us a foothold in the very fast-growing and vital market for the electrification of heat. In the summer, we completed a Series A fundraise for ZapMap, the electric vehicle app which we majority owned at the start of the year. And by bringing in another investor, FleetCor, along with investing ourselves, we've now given that business £9 million to invest in future growth and realised a value for it of over £26 million. In terms of the operation of the business, a couple of things I would highlight. The first off is the successful and profitable operation of our supply business, including getting to just under 50% of our domestic supply customers now on smart meters, which is a key enabler for future energy services, but also the launch of some new and innovative products and services for rooftop generators and feed-in tariff customers. So we've launched a product that pays people not on the deemed or estimated amount they generate, but actually on their measured generation. And we've got some new products coming into the market for first-time generators as we speak. Good Energy's overall sense of mission, which was to power a cleaner and greener world, hasn't changed, but our vision for how we get there has, and it involves energy services to a much greater extent. And that's really because the whole nature of our energy grid is changing and needs to change. It needs to be one which is much more decentralised, where homes and businesses have far greater control about where they find their energy from, how they store it, and how they use it. And to enable that, we are investing not particularly in green generation or supply, but in the services that put control in the hands of our consumers. There are a couple of examples. First is solar. So the market for solar panels is now rocketing. Demand for solar installation has at least doubled in the last year for the obvious reasons that energy is very expensive and the cost of installation has come down. We've innovated this year in our products for existing solar generators, but also for new generators, and we're actually now even have the capability to install solar panels for you. Heat is something I would say was in the same category. I'd expect a real step up in the next couple of years in demand for heat pumps as opposed to traditional gas boilers, as the country focuses much more on both their efficiency and their climate impact. And the same obviously applies to electric vehicles. And these are all markets which offer very attractive characteristics both to our consumers, because we're putting people in control of their energy footprint, but also frankly to investors. These are markets which we can comfortably expect to grow at compound annual growth rates of well over 20% for the next few years. Their demand for working capital is far lower than the traditional energy supply business, and the margins that these businesses run at are somewhat higher. Good Energy has always been quite a specialist energy supplier, but a major player in terms of self-generation. And for the next 6 months, I see us really investing behind equipping people and businesses who want to make themselves much more energy independent and adopt new energy technology. So we can expect to be investing considerably behind our heat pump installation business as the demand for that picks up. We've already have the capability to install solar panels, and we are looking to acquire further installers and service companies to build out that proposition more nationally. You can also expect us to be innovating for these markets. We're about to launch the UK's leading tariff for domestic generators, where we'll be offering the market-leading variable rate for people who are on energy supply with us. And I would see a lot of innovation coming in that area to follow that. And then lastly, ZapMap, now that it's funded, will be going from strength to strength. It is going to relaunch the app to make it that much more usable. It's going to relaunch its subscription proposition. It's building out the number of charge point operators who it works with, and potentially even has plans to begin to expand internationally. So there's a lot to come from Good Energy in 2023. It's been a difficult 18 months for a lot of energy companies, and in many ways our market capitalisation reflects that. In truth, we have £25 million on the balance sheet, as our results show today. We have a significant investment in ZapMap. We have a growing energy services business and a robust energy supply business. And even the value of our cash and ZapMap takes you above today's market capitalisation. So in the board's view, these results show that Good Energy is an undervalued business with a lot of potential.